wish is something you'd like to have. A goal is something you've decided to have. And the moment of decision makes all the difference. A wish floats in the air. A goal stands on paper. Someone says, "I sure hope things get better this year." That's a wish. Another person says, "Here are the 5 things I'm going to improve this year, and here's the plan to make them happen." That's a goal. The first speaks of chance. The second speaks of choice. When you move from wishing to goal setting, you accept responsibility for direction. You stop waiting for the wind to blow right and start adjusting your own sails. The people who build great lives, the ones who achieve, the ones who inspire, all begin the same way. They write it down. They make it plain. They define exactly what they want and when they intend to have it. It's not enough to say, "I want more money." How much more? By when? For what reason? The mind can't act on vague. It can act only on specific. You've got to tell it what you want in clear, measurable terms. A goal transforms a wish into a target. And once there's a target, the mind and body go to work aligning actions toward it. You can't hit a target you can't see. And you can't see a target that doesn't exist. Some people spend years walking in circles, wondering why they're tired and frustrated. The truth is, without a clear aim, every effort gets scattered. Energy turns into motion without meaning. They stay busy, but never productive. They work hard, but go nowhere. Clarity is power. When you know what you want, decisions get easier. Discipline becomes purposeful. Every yes and every no lines up with something that matters. And the moment you set a written goal, you change your identity from a drifter to a designer. You're no longer at the mercy of circumstance. You're now the architect of direction. A goal is a promise you make to yourself with a plan attached. Wishes sound nice, but goals have muscle. Wishes live in dreams. Goals live in calendars. Wishes are backed by hope. Goals are backed by habit. When you learn that difference, you begin to separate yourself from the crowd. I learned long ago that the universe responds to clarity. If you don't decide what you want, life will hand you leftovers. But when you decide, when you commit in writing, things start aligning. People, opportunities, and ideas begin showing up, not by magic, but by magnetism. Focus attracts form. So take a quiet evening sometime soon. Sit with a pen and a pad. Ask yourself what you really want, not what others expect, not what sounds impressive, but what matters. Then write it down. Don't let it float in your mind like mist. Capture it. Make it visible. That's where it starts. The journey of success begins with clarity. You can't steer what you haven't defined. You can't finish what you haven't started. Turn your wishes into goals and your goals into plans. The first decision of a new life is the decision to be specific. That's the dividing line between the dreamers and the achievers. The decision to put it in writing, to take ownership of direction, and to stop leaving the outcome to chance. Goals matter because they give life focus. Without focus, activity turns into noise. A person can be busy from morning till night and still accomplish nothing of real value. That's the tragedy of modern effort. Plenty of motion, little direction. A goal pulls all that energy into a single line of force. Think of a magnifying glass. The same sunlight that warms your hand can, when focused, start a fire. Goals do that for human energy. They turn scattered intention into concentrated power. The day you set a clear goal, the day you define what you want and why, something in your spirit aligns. Suddenly, effort has meaning. When you wake up with no goals, life feels random. Whatever happens, happens. You react instead of create. But when you wake up with goals, you have a reason to move, to plan, to measure, to improve. You begin living on purpose. That's when you stop counting the hours and start making the hours count. A person with goals is like a ship with a destination. The winds may shift, the tides may pull, but the captain adjusts course and stays on track. Without a destination, any wind will do, and every wave becomes a threat. It's not that the ocean changed, it's that the ship never decided where to go. When you define goals, you take command of your time. You decide what deserves attention and what doesn't. The world is full of distractions trying to pull you in every direction. Goals filter the noise. They make it easy to say no to the trivial because you've already said yes to the essential. Every clear goal simplifies life. People sometimes say, I don't want to limit myself with goals, but that's confusion. Goals don't confine you, they focus you. They don't shrink your world, they sharpen your world. A painter doesn't feel restricted by the frame, he's defined by it. A goal gives boundaries that make excellence possible. And here's the truth. Life will test every goal you set. Obstacles will appear. Doubt will whisper. The question will always be the same. How badly do you want it? When you know why the goal matters, you find strength for the struggle. The why gives endurance to the how. That's why it's not enough to set a goal. You must connect it to purpose. When the reason is strong, the effort feels lighter. If you ever feel lost or unfocused, don't start with action. Start with clarity. Write the goal again. Remind yourself what it means. Vision renews discipline. When the mind sees the destination clearly, it naturally seeks the route to reach it. The world honors those who know where they're going. The marketplace rewards direction. People without goals drift into other people's plans, and you can be sure those plans won't be designed for your benefit. A well-defined goal is your protection against being used by circumstance or by someone else's agenda. You can't hit a target you haven't defined. That's why the first task of success is always definition. Once the goal is clear, the mind starts working day and night, even when you're asleep, searching for ideas and connections. That's how progress begins. One decision, one direction, one clearly stated aim. Goals matter because they pull the future into the present. They give meaning to effort, structure to time, and focus to life. The moment you know what you want, everything else begins to organize around that purpose. You stop chasing everything and start building something. A plan is the bridge between desire and destination. Without it, dreams remain in the clouds. A plan takes imagination and turns it into direction. It gives you a way to measure, adjust, and progress. It's not magic, it's method. Many people set goals but never design the structure to reach them. They say they want a better life, more income, improved health, stronger relationships, but they don't build the daily process to make those things real. A plan is what translates want into work. It answers the question, what must I do and when must I do it? A goal is the target. A plan is the map. Without a map, you may move, but you won't know if you're moving closer or farther from your destination. Planning turns someday into a schedule. It breaks the large into the small, the overwhelming into the manageable. Every great success has been built step by step on the foundation of a plan. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a workable one. Most people wait for ideal conditions before starting. They want to see every step before taking the first one. That's not planning. That's paralysis. Planning is the art of preparation, not perfection. You plan the next few steps. You act, and you adjust. Progress comes through refinement, not waiting. Write your plan. Don't keep it in your head. Writing makes ideas solid. When you write a plan, you make a promise. It becomes a visual contract between your desire and your discipline. A written plan becomes a mirror. You can check it, measure it, and revise it. Without it, time slips through your fingers, and the weeks vanish with little to show. A solid plan has two qualities. It's specific and measurable. Specific means you can describe it clearly. Measurable means you can track it accurately. Get better at sales is vague. Make 20 new client contacts a week is measurable. Be healthier is vague. Run 3 miles 3 times a week is measurable. Specificity turns intention into accountability. Now, once you've written your plan, review it regularly. That's the discipline part. A plan ignored becomes a plan forgotten. Life moves, markets shift, and people change. Your plan must evolve with your circumstances. Set aside time each week to evaluate what worked, what didn't, and what needs adjustment. That's how professionals operate. Amateurs react, professionals refine. When you plan well, you conserve energy. Every hour has a purpose. You stop wasting days deciding what to do next. Planning turns confusion into clarity and anxiety into confidence. Most of what people call stress is simply the absence of a plan. When you know what needs to be done and when, tension fades. Order replaces chaos. And remember, the discipline of planning is not a one-time event. It's a continuous habit. Just as a farmer checks the soil, the seasons, and the weather, you must check your progress. Planning is the habit of keeping your eyes on the destination while your feet handle the next step. It's how you make sure motion equals progress. You can't build a building from memory. You use blueprints. In life, your plan is that blueprint. It may change as you go, but you never build without one. You wouldn't trust a pilot who took off without a flight plan. Don't live your life that way either. So take the time, put it on paper. Create a roadmap. Know what you're after, what it takes, and how you'll track it. The discipline of planning turns ordinary desire into extraordinary results. It's not enough to wish and not enough to set goals. You must plan your work and then work your plan. Success is never sudden. It only looks that way to those who weren't there for the years of quiet preparation. Every so-called overnight success is built on a long stretch of days when no one was watching. The world sees the moment of harvest, but forgets the seasons of planting. Preparation is the great separator. Two people can face the same opportunity. One is ready, the other is not. To the prepared, it looks like destiny. To the unprepared, it looks like luck. But there's no such thing as luck in the long run. There's only readiness meeting occasion. The law of preparation says that the future belongs to those who get ready for it. You can't expect a harvest from fields you never cultivated. You can't perform at a level you've never practiced. The time to prepare is long before the opportunity appears. Once the moment arrives, it's too late to get ready. You must be ready. Preparation builds confidence. Fear fades when competence rises. People often ask how to overcome fear. The answer is simple. Be prepared. When you've studied, rehearsed, and planned, fear has no place to hide. Confidence doesn't come from wishing. It comes from preparation, repeated until it becomes second nature. Most people want the results without the rehearsal. They want the spotlight without the sweat. But life doesn't work that way. If you don't prepare, you'll pay in panic. If you do prepare, you'll profit in performance. Preparation is the hidden cost of excellence. the price you pay in advance. When you prepare well, opportunity feels familiar. You recognize it, you trust yourself to handle it, and you move quickly. The unprepared hesitate, they second guess. Opportunity doesn't wait for indecision. It passes on to someone who's ready. That's why those who keep learning, practicing, and improving always seem lucky. They're not lucky, they're ready. Preparation shortens recovery time after mistakes. When you've studied the game, you can adapt faster. You understand cause and effect. You don't panic, you adjust. That's the power of groundwork. It gives you the tools to recover with intelligence instead of emotion. Someone once said that a genius is nothing more than a person who prepared well and stayed consistent. That's about right. The difference between average and exceptional is almost always preparation. It's the quiet hours no one applauds, the study sessions no one sees, the extra effort that never makes headlines. You prepare today for what you want tomorrow. If you want opportunity next year, start training now. If you want confidence next month, study today. The law of preparation doesn't reward intent, it rewards readiness. It's not enough to want success, you must earn the right to handle it. Every profession understands this law. The athlete trains before the season. The musician practices before the concert. The speaker studies before the stage. The same applies to life. The better you prepare, and the greater your chances of performing with excellence when your moment arrives. Unprepared people call luck what the prepared call opportunity. The prepared person smiles when chance appears, because chance is just the reward of diligence. Every disciplined hour spent learning, planning, or practicing adds a layer of readiness. And one day when the door opens, you'll step through without hesitation. The law of preparation doesn't promise ease, it promises confidence. It promises that when your time comes, you'll recognize it and be equal to it. And that's worth more than luck ever could be. Every goal carries a price tag. Nothing of value is ever free. Not success, not growth, not freedom. The marketplace is exact. It demands full payment and accepts no promises. You can't trick it with words or impress it with excuses. You pay in advance with discipline, or you pay later with regret. Each dream asks the same question. What are you willing to give up to have it? Time, comfort, routine. Something must be exchanged. The greater the dream, the greater the cost. That's the law of life. Most people want the rewards, but few want the responsibility that earns them. They want the trophy without the training, the applause without the effort. But every prize has a price. Discipline is the price tag of progress. It's doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It's the difference between wishing and achieving. You don't have to like discipline. You just have to respect it. Because discipline pays and regret costs. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Some people think they can avoid paying. They look for easy ways out, shortcuts, tricks. But life always collects. You might delay the bill, but it always comes due, with interest. Miss a few disciplines, and you'll find yourself paying with frustration, lost time, missed chances. Every skipped step adds to the price later on. When you understand that every goal has a cost, you stop asking, is it easy? And start asking, is it worth it? Because worthwhile things are rarely easy. The question isn't how to make it effortless. The question is whether the result is valuable enough to justify the effort. Once the value is clear, the cost becomes manageable. Sacrifice isn't punishment, it's investment. When you give up short-term comfort for long-term gain, you're not losing, you're trading up. The student studies while others sleep. The entrepreneur works while others drift. The athlete trains while others complain. Each is paying the price in advance, knowing that every discipline compounds into future freedom. There's another side to this law. You always pay, but you choose the currency. Pay with time and effort now, or pay with regret and limitation later. There's no escaping the transaction. Life is a strict accountant. It records every action and balances every book. The bill for laziness is heavy. The reward for diligence is generous. The great thing about paying the price is that the payment transforms you. You become stronger through sacrifice. Every hour of focus increases your capacity. Every act of discipline builds self-respect. The process of paying sharpens character. And character, in the end, is the true reward. You can't hire someone else to do your push-ups. You can't delegate your growth. No one can pay the price for you. Others can encourage you, teach you, or inspire you. But the doing must be yours. Responsibility is not a burden. It's the evidence of maturity. Once you accept that, life opens up. The people who pay the price consistently become the ones others call lucky. But luck is just the name given to disciplined persistence rewarded over time. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve is that achievers keep paying every day without fail until the goal is met. Pay now or pay later, but pay you must. The difference lies in the reward attached to the payment. Discipline leads to freedom. Regret leads to chains. One strengthens, the other weakens. Choose which you prefer, then pay in full. Shortcuts promise speed, but deliver setback. They whisper of ease, yet lead to erosion. Every shortcut looks like a gift at first. Less time, less work, less sacrifice. But in truth, it's a thief. It steals learning, weakens discipline, and cheapens success. The danger of shortcuts is that they trade what's lasting for what's immediate. People search for the quick fix, the secret, the magic formula. They want the reward without the refinement. But nothing durable is ever built fast. It takes time for roots to go deep. The tallest trees spend years growing underground before they ever rise above it. Growth follows the same pattern. You earn strength in the unseen before it shows in the visible. Every field of mastery punishes shortcuts. The student who crams instead of studies forgets as quickly as he learns. The athlete who skips training loses the edge. The business person who cuts corners damages trust. The person who cheats the process ends up cheating themselves. Life is structured to expose what isn't earned. The shortcut mindset kills growth because it shifts focus from excellence to expedience. When the goal becomes finishing fast instead of finishing right, standards fall. Progress becomes hollow, and what's built on shortcuts cannot last because it has no foundation. You can fake results for a season, but time always reveals the truth. There's no discount store for achievement. The price tag never changes. It's discipline, patience, and consistency. That's the full amount. Those who pay it build something solid. Those who try to bargain end up starting over again and again. Success is rented, and the rent is due every day. The temptation of shortcuts grows strongest when results feel slow. That's when people start comparing. They see others advancing and think, there must be a faster way. But speed without direction is just motion. Never envy the person moving quickly. Envy the one moving steadily. Fast can fail. Steady endures. When you follow the full process, you don't just get results. You become the kind of person capable of sustaining them. That's why the process matters. Every step teaches, toughens, and trains you. The easy way leaves you fragile. The full way leaves you capable. The difference shows when pressure comes. Those who took shortcuts crumble. Those who built slowly stand firm. A shortcut blinds you to detail. You miss the small lessons hidden in the long road. And those lessons are what prepare you for the next level. Each discipline builds the next. Skip one, and the structure weakens. You might still reach success for a moment, but without the layers of preparation, you can't hold it. True success demands full payment. No skipping steps, no half effort, no compromise. The person who learns to stay with the process, even when it feels slow, becomes unstoppable. The one who looks for shortcuts never learns endurance and remains forever restarting. So refuse the illusion of ease. Don't ask how to get there faster. Ask how to get there stronger. Don't seek what's cheap. Seek what's lasting. The long road builds more than results. It builds character. And in the end, character is what sustains achievement after the applause fades. The path to success has no back door. Every real victory must be earned in sequence. You can't bypass the grind and expect the glory. The moment you understand that, shortcuts lose their attraction, and steady progress becomes your only plan. No plan survives perfectly. The best designed map still meets storms, detours, and delays. That's the nature of life. But the wise learn the art of persistence and adjustment. They keep the goal in sight while adapting their methods along the way. The destination stays fixed, but the route may change 100 times. Persistence is the twin of faith. It says, I will stay with it until, not until it's easy, not until it's convenient, until it's done. Persistence doesn't ask for comfort. It asks for commitment. The person who persists discovers that endurance outlasts resistance. The road gets smoother for the one who keeps walking. Many people quit too soon because they mistake a bend for the end. The path turns and they assume it's blocked. But bends are normal. Detours are part of design. You adjust, not abandon. Flexibility is intelligence applied to persistence. It's not weakness to change methods, it's wisdom. A rigid person breaks under pressure. A flexible one bends, then stands back up stronger. The goal stays the same. The strategy evolves. Conditions shift. Markets move. Timing changes. The one who wins is not always the one with the perfect plan, but the one with the adjustable one. Persistence isn't about stubbornly repeating the same mistake. It's about staying committed to the outcome while improving the process. If something doesn't work, test, refine, and try again. The mountain doesn't care how many paths you attempt. It only yields to the climber who refuses to stop. Persistence builds a kind of quiet confidence. Each time you keep going when it would have been easier to quit, you strengthen your belief in yourself. And belief is what fuels the next stretch of effort. The secret to consistency is not that people never get tired. It's that they've decided to continue even when tired. Those who persist understand that progress often hides. Growth isn't always visible day to day. But just because you don't see movement doesn't mean there isn't movement. The seed grows underground long before it breaks the surface. The work you do in silence will speak loudly in time if you keep at it. Adjustment is how you translate persistence into progress. Persistence keeps you moving. Adjustment keeps you efficient. If you only persist without learning, you'll wear out. But if you persist and adjust, you'll rise. The combination is unbeatable. It's motion plus intelligence. Some call it resilience, the ability to recover, recalibrate, and resume. Resilient people don't avoid failure, they use it. Every setback becomes data, not defeat. They ask, what can this teach me? Instead of why me? That small change in attitude transforms obstacles into instruction. Remember, persistence is not blind repetition. It's intelligent endurance. The moment you commit to a goal, you commit to the process of correction. That's how you grow strong without growing rigid. You learn to hold vision firmly and plans loosely. Life rewards those who stay in the game long enough to learn its patterns. Most give up a few feet before gold. They underestimate how close they are because fatigue distorts perspective. When it feels hardest, that's usually when the reward lies just ahead. Stay with it. Adjust as needed. Keep your goal in front of you and your pride out of the way. The person who refuses to quit will always outlast the person who only works when conditions are ideal. Persistence turns ordinary talent into extraordinary results. Progress that isn't measured fades into memory. What gets measured improves. What stays vague gets ignored. If you want to grow, you must track. You must turn effort into evidence. Measuring progress is how you stay honest with yourself, how you see clearly whether motion is becoming achievement. Numbers tell the truth. Feelings fluctuate, figures don't. You might feel busy, but if the numbers don't move, neither have you. Tracking keeps you grounded in reality. It forces you to face results, not stories. And once you face the truth, you can improve it. When you set goals, attach measurements. Write down targets you can count. If you're in sales, count calls, meetings, conversions. If you're getting in shape, track miles, reps, meals. If you're building skills, measure hours of study or projects completed. Progress needs proof. Without it, discipline weakens and drift begins. Review your progress often. Once a week, sit quietly and check the numbers. Are you ahead, behind, or standing still? That's not judgment. It's feedback. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. It tells you what's working and what's wasting time. Without it, you might continue habits that look productive but aren't moving the dial. Reflection turns experience into insight. Progress without reflection is like travel without a map. You might move fast, but end up lost. Take the time to review, not to criticize, but to correct. The goal of measurement isn't guilt, it's guidance. It's the tool that turns activity into strategy. Some people resist measurement because they fear the truth. They'd rather not know. But ignorance never protects. It only prolongs the problem. If you don't measure your finances, they slip. If you don't measure your time, it disappears. If you don't measure your habits, they decline. Reality ignored becomes reality reinforced. Measurement builds motivation. When you see progress, even small progress, it feeds momentum. The brain loves evidence of improvement. A single recorded win can refuel weeks of effort. That's why tracking matters. It transforms invisible growth into visible proof. Be precise, but don't be perfectionistic. The purpose of measuring is not to create pressure, but awareness. Awareness leads to better choices. Better choices lead to better results. You can't manage what you don't measure, and you can't improve what you don't manage. And when the numbers don't look good, don't despair. Diagnose. Every shortfall hides a lesson. Find it. Maybe the plan was wrong. Maybe the effort inconsistent. Maybe the method outdated. Once you see the cause, you can fix it. That's how professionals think. They don't take results personally. They take them seriously. Tracking teaches patience. It reminds you that progress is gradual. Each week may not show dramatic leaps, but over time, the compound effect takes over. Consistent small gains become remarkable achievements when measured over months and years. Remember, what you measure expands. Give attention to what matters most, and it grows. Neglect what matters, and it shrinks. Life responds to focus. When you measure progress, you tell yourself and the world that this area is important. And life begins to move in alignment with that decision. So write it down. Check it often. Let the numbers tell their story. Improvement is never accidental. It's the result of deliberate action measured over time. Progress that can be counted can be corrected. And progress that can be corrected can be completed. Goals are not monuments. They're living things. They grow, evolve, and sometimes outgrow you. That's why vision must be renewed. Without renewal, even the best goals become routine. Energy fades, passion dulls, and effort turns mechanical. Renewal keeps your purpose alive. Every few months, stop and ask, why did I start? What do I want now? Has the reason changed? People change. Seasons shift. Priorities move. What mattered 5 years ago may not matter today. Renewal is not quitting. It's updating. It's adjusting your vision so it stays aligned with who you are becoming. When you forget the why, the how feels heavy. But when the why is strong, discipline feels lighter. The person who knows the reason behind the goal doesn't have to fight for motivation. Purpose creates its own energy. That's why reflection is vital. It reconnects emotion to mission. Sometimes the renewal process means simplifying. Life can grow crowded with obligations, distractions, and outdated pursuits. You may find that certain goals no longer fit your values or direction. Let them go. Don't drag old ambitions into new seasons. Pruning is not loss, it's preparation. Clearing space makes room for what's next. Renewal protects against complacency. Success can breed comfort, and comfort dulls drive. After reaching a goal, many people relax too long. They forget that growth is a continuous climb. Renewal keeps you hungry. It reminds you that every achievement is just a foundation for the next one. Take time to visualize your goals again. See them fresh. Feel them again. Remind yourself of what they mean and who they help you become. The clearer your vision, the stronger your direction. And clarity doesn't stay permanent. It must be maintained like fitness or friendship. What you neglect fades. Renewal demands gratitude. Gratitude turns what you have into fuel for what's next. It grounds you. When you pause to appreciate how far you've come, you find renewed strength to go farther. Gratitude and vision form a powerful cycle. Thankfulness for the past, excitement for the future. Sometimes people mistake renewal for doubt. They think reevaluating means weakness. Not so. Renewal is strength. It means you're thinking, adjusting, evolving. Only rigid minds refuse to re-examine. A flexible vision bends with life but never breaks. Renewal is how purpose stays fresh while principles stay firm. Write your goals again. Read them aloud. Refine the list. Remove what no longer serves and recommit to what still matters. Every time you renew, you sharpen focus and reignite energy. A renewed goal feels alive. It draws you forward with fresh conviction. Remember, the journey of success is not a straight climb. It's a series of renewals, reasons refreshed, visions revisited, priorities realigned. Each time you reconnect with your purpose, you expand your potential. So pause now and then to review, reflect, and renew. Ask what still excites you, what still challenges you, and what still matters deeply. Let those answers shape your next season. Because when the vision stays alive, the future stays bright. Life is an exchange. You trade effort for reward, time for value, discipline for freedom. Nothing comes without cost, and everything you keep, you've paid for somehow. The key is to make the exchange worthwhile, to trade temporary comfort for lasting gain, to trade ease for excellence, to trade potential for performance. Goals give your energy purpose. They tell your hours where to go instead of wondering where they went. Plans give that purpose structure, a sequence, a strategy. And paying the price gives that structure reality. Without all three, nothing holds. Dreams without goals are fantasies. Goals without plans are frustrations. Plans without discipline are failures. The marketplace of life is fair. It gives back exactly what you put in, no more, no less. Some try to bargain with it, but life doesn't negotiate. It waits for full payment. The law is simple. You reap what you sow, and you always reap later and greater. The harvest comes in its season, not yours, but it always comes. Every person must decide which price to pay, the price of discipline or the price of regret. One weighs ounces, the other weighs tons. Discipline is temporary pain that produces permanent progress. Regret is permanent pain produced by temporary decisions. The choice appears small each day, but it shapes a lifetime. Success doesn't ask if you're comfortable. It asks if you're committed. It doesn't ask what you wish for. It asks what you're willing to give. The question is not, can I have it? But will I pay for it? That's the ultimate exchange. Life's rewards go to those who have paid in full. No discounts, no deferrals. And here's the beauty. The moment you accept the price, peace follows. You stop resisting reality. You stop searching for easier ways and start working the right way. Clarity replaces confusion. Every day becomes purposeful because you know exactly what you're trading your time for. The price will always be the same. Discipline, patience, sacrifice. But the rewards will multiply. The growth you earn is permanent. The respect you gain is deserved. And the person you become in the process is the greatest reward of all. Because while goals build results, the pursuit of goals builds character. In the end, every dream stands before you with a question. Are you willing to pay full price? If the answer is yes, there is no limit. The resources of life respond to those who demonstrate value through effort. Work creates worth. Dedication creates dignity. The universe opens doors for those who prove they're ready to walk through them. So take stock of your goals. Strengthen your plans. Commit to the price. Don't wish it easier. Wish yourself stronger. Don't ask for less challenge. Ask for more wisdom. The world doesn't withhold opportunity. It simply waits for those who are prepared to earn it. Life trades rewards for effort, not wishes. The exchange is exact and the return is fair. Set your goals high, plan them well, pay the price in full, then watch as life hands you the harvest it promised all along, because you kept your end of the exchange.